once again to Chinakya, the channel that gives you the whole truth, all the truth, the absolute truth, nothing but the truth, as spoken by God Himself 5,000 years ago. You know those people who foolishly try to claim monopoly over God or going back to the spiritual world, like Jesus is the only way, or the Muslims killing all the infidels. Unfortunately, so much of this nonsense going on in the world. But if we actually think, what happened before Jesus? If Jesus is the only way, and He was here 2,000 years ago, what happened before that? Everyone goes to hell? It's all nonsense, speculation, and a little truth is a dangerous thing. As it is said, a little truth is a dangerous thing. Just like, say, for example, like Hitler. He had a little truth. The Germans were the first people to actually translate some of these Vedic books into English, but only a small part of them. And of course, as we've been speaking, the spirit that is within this body, that is the real self. Not this body. This is a temporary self. We should not identify with this shell. So they actually, some of the scholars from Germany had some of this knowledge, which Hitler obviously read or heard from some of those professors. So, rather than understanding that all the truth about the spirit, now he claimed that some people, he was an Aryan. Yes, Aryan, that is coming from these Vedic books. The word Aryan means the highest class person. But the highest class person has got nothing to do with this temporary body. You know, much is being made of equality, this term equality. But there's no equality in the material world. Is a poor man equal to a rich man? No. Is a beautiful person equal to an ugly person? No. Is a wealthy person equal to a poor person? No. So there's basically no equality. But the equality we are thinking of inherently, that's the spirit. That spirit is equal to everyone. Sat, Chit, Ananda, the spirit, the spiritual body is made of those elements. Sat, eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Not material, temporary elements. And absolutely every living being has a beautiful spiritual body. There's no such thing as ugly or stupid or smart or wealthy in the spiritual world. Everyone has the same advantage. They're eternal. They're full of knowledge. There's nothing more to learn. Only in this material world we come here trying to bluff that others that we are God and we are intelligent. All this horrible nonsense goes on. These inferiority complexes and all these psychosis, and this is all a result of the ignorance of the material world. It's got nothing to do with the spiritual world. So as we've said many times, don't waste your money trying to run to psychiatrists, and they can't help you. This can help you. Raja Vidya, the spiritual knowledge, can help you. We have to look at the big picture, the eternal picture, not this picture of this one lousy body that we will be dissatisfied with in most cases. We should not identify with this body. Look at the big picture. We're all beings. The human form of life is very rare. So we have this human form of life. And with this human form of life, we have an opportunity to go back to the spiritual world in the next life, rather than downwards. So, to get back to this point of equality. You know, there's so much agitation by feminists that they want to be equal to men. This is another nonsense that's going on. In the series of evolution, say from animals, we know Darwin presented this theory of evolution, which is absolutely true. But it is not only the body that's evolving, it's the spirit that's evolving through the species, satisfying all the karma, all the actions and reactions of a past human form of life. And then that spirit is evolving through all those species and gradually rising to come back to the human form of life, when we'll have another opportunity to get out of this material world, out of this prison. Another opportunity to appear before the parole board and try to end this endless cycle of birth and death. So a wise person will pay very close attention and get out of this material world now, or at least get another human form of life where we can progress even further. So there's no equality. It's the spirit that's equal. There's no equality in anything else in the material world. So we should understand that. So, one second. I have something really great to read. This is from the Vedic books from 5,000 years ago, believe me, 5,000 years ago in Sanskrit, which has been translated into English. So here is a wonderful quote from God Himself and those that were on this planet with Him. This is called the Srimad Bhagavatam, of which this Bible of God is a part. So, here the Lord states, "Those fools and rascals who want to ascend to the upper planetary system by mystic powers or even mechanical means, or who endeavor to cross even the upper planets and achieve the spiritual world or liberation, I cause them to be sent to the lowest regions of the universe." As we have spoken before, in the lower worlds there's more hellish planets than this earth planet is. So, sometimes we're going up, sometimes we're going down. Heavenly planets are within this material world, but the spiritual kingdom of God is outside. That's where we have to go to become free from this endless cycle of birth and death. So when we learn how to follow these laws and to appreciate that God is the Supreme Person and give Him His due respect instead of trying to imitate Him, try to come to this material. In fact, I remember my brother during those old days when the Beatles first came along. Then my brother and I, we knew every Beatles song. So my brother says to me one night, he says, "Wouldn't it be great if we could go to another planet where no one has ever heard of the Beatles and then we just sing the songs and become famous?" So this is the prevailing attitude in the material world. That we want to See, we've come here from the spiritual world where God is king, where God is supreme. And we've come here to the material world where people are not so smart, not so aware, and then we're going to try to pass ourselves off as someone great, as if God is not there. And that's why it's very difficult to hear about God himself in this material world, because everyone is here imitating God. They're not following God. So that's a difficult step. It's like drinking poison, like medicine, right? We have to take our medicine. The medicine may not taste good in the beginning, but once we're well, we'll be very thankful that we were cured. So we're offering the cure here. We're offering the cure to get not only a cure for cancer, not only the cure for diabetes, whatever, the cure all, the end all. What do they call it? The panacea of all diseases. It covers everything. Carte blanche. Get out of this material world, then there's no more birth and death, no more disease, no more old age, no more suffering. So what's not to like about that? Oh man, what's wrong with us? We are so dull-headed. Can't we understand that this is a world of hell that we're in? It's of suffering. If not today, tomorrow. Look around us, so much suffering now. Right now there's a huge problem in Philippines. How many thousands of people killed? So we have to get out of this material world. We have to get out and stay out. Not just go to the heavenly planets for 1 or 2 lifetimes, then come back down and suffer as an animal and then get caught up in the samsara wheel. No. We are giving you the full facts here. No speculation. We only speaking what God is speaking. So, time to get out of this material world, people. Thank you very much. Until next time.